Okay, let's unpack this. Have you heard the buzz about AI and job losses? Because the numbers are starting to get, well, really real. We're talking about thousands of U.S. jobs already impacted this year.
Yeah, it's quite striking how quickly this is unfolding. As of early August 2025, reports are showing over 10,000 U.S. jobs cut. And that's directly linked to employers adopting these generative AI tools.
Generative AI, the kind that makes text, images, that sort of thing.
Exactly. Automating tasks humans used to do. Sources like CBS News and Yahoo are tracking this.
10,000 jobs. Wow, that's a huge number to wrap your head around.
It really is.
Especially when we're talking about just the first, 7 months of 2025?
Precisely.
CBS journalist Megan Cerullo, she pointed to AI implementation being a big factor in layoff spikes.
Though importantly, she did note it wasn't the only cause.
Right. Not the sole cause.
Yeah.
But significant. And we've seen CEOs, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, JP Morgan, IBM.
All big names.
Yeah, publicly linking workforce cuts to AI efficiency and this shift towards AI infrastructure.
And that infrastructure term, it's basically about the huge spending on computing power, data centers, chips, all the stuff needed for AI.
Right, the backbone.
Which leads to a key question. Is AI the only driver here, or is it part of something bigger?
Like a broader economy.
Exactly. We've got data from Indeed, for instance. Tech job postings in July 2025, down 36% compared to early 2020.
36%, that's quite a drop.
It is. It shows some general economic softness, not just AI disruption hitting the tech sector.
Okay, so today our mission is really to cut through the noise here.
Look at the specific data points.
And explore what this actually means for you, for your career, and, well, the future of work.
Let's do it.
We're going to dive into specific examples, like Microsoft's recent layoffs. We touched on them, but let's get specific.
And pinpoint those roles that seem most vulnerable right now.
Plus, here's some, honestly, pretty stark warnings from industry leaders about where this could be heading.
But then, crucially, pivot to what experts say you can do. How to adapt, maybe even thrive.
Yeah, not just survive. So hopefully get ready for some aha moments along the way.
Okay.
So we set that stage. Over 10,000 U.S. jobs impacted by early August. When we dig into specifics, Microsoft really jumps out, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Their scale, their public statements, it makes them a key case study here. They laid off, over 6,000 workers back in May.
Yeah, and then another chunk in July. Roughly 9,000 more.
And directly attributed, as you said, to this AI transformation. They're shifting resources, building out that AI infrastructure. We're talking about that massive $80 billion investment just in 2025.
$80 billion. It's staggering. And so are the layoff numbers from just one company. But it's not just Microsoft, is it? This feels like a wider trend.
Oh, definitely. While Microsoft is a very visible example, you're right. Broader reports suggest big tech overall. Maybe over 100,000 jobs cut in 2025.
Wow.
And AI is often cited, especially for those entry-level and mid-level roles being hit hard.
But we need to connect that back to the economy, like you said before.
Exactly. Remember that Indeed data point. Tech postings down significantly. It reflects that broader economic cool down, maybe investor pressure for companies to be leaner, more efficient.
So AI is a factor, maybe even an accelerator, but it's happening within this larger economic context?
Precisely. It's not happening in a vacuum.
Okay, that makes sense. So let's talk about who's feeling the most direct hit from this AI transformation. Which specific jobs are looking most vulnerable right now?
Well, the pattern emerging seems to be hitting a significant chunk of entry-level white-collar roles pretty hard.
Like what kind of roles specifically?
Think about positions like paralegals, call center operators, translators, many administrative jobs too.
Jobs that involve a lot of information processing or routine communication.
Exactly. Tasks involving processing information, generating standard content, handling sort of repetitive interactions. These are all areas where generative AI is becoming surprisingly efficient.
It's almost hard to picture the workplace without some of those roles as we know them. And some leaders in the field are giving us some pretty stark warnings about what this might mean down the road.
Yeah, some quite serious projections are out there. It raises big questions about the potential scale of future job displacement.
Like Dario Amodei from Anthropic. His warning sounded quite alarming.
It did.
Yeah.
He suggested AI could potentially eliminate up to, I think it was 50% of entry-level white-collar jobs.
50%. It's huge.
And he speculated that could push U.S. unemployment towards 20% within 5 years if things continue unchecked.
20% unemployment. That's Great Depression territory.
Ooh, a very high figure. And some other analysts have echoed similar concerns, maybe projecting national unemployment hitting 10–20% eventually.
Okay, those numbers are definitely attention-grabbing, almost scary. But then you see other analyses, like the one from Goldman Sachs, that seem, well, more contained.
Right. And that difference is really important to understand.
Why such a big gap in the forecasts? Are they measuring different things?
It often comes down to scope, timeline, and assumptions. The Goldman Sachs analysis, for instance, looks closely at young tech workers, say 20 to 30 years old.
Okay.
Their unemployment has risen faster than the national average recently, nearly 3 percentage points since early 2024. That's about 4 times the average rate increase.
So there's definitely an impact there.
Yes, but Goldman Sachs projects the overall displacement rate for them might be limited to maybe 6–7% over the next decade.
Okay, 6–7% over 10 years sounds very different from 50% in 5 years.
It does. And they estimate this would cap the rise in total national unemployment at around half a percentage point. Much smaller impact overall.
So Amadeus is more like a worst-case, long-term, no-intervention scenario.
Potentially, yes. While Goldman Sachs is looking at a specific group over a specific time frame, perhaps assuming more adaptation and new job creation happens.
Got it. So it's really a debate about the scale and the speed of this whole thing.
Exactly. There's no single consensus number right now.
Yep. Which brings us to the crucial question for you listening. What's the actual playbook here? How do you navigate this? What are the experts suggesting?
Well, someone like Paul Graham from Y Combinator, he offers some pretty direct advice. He talks about moving away from what he calls scut work.
Scut work. Like the tedious stuff.
Basically, yeah. The mundane, repetitive tasks that AI is just getting really good at automating. Think basic data entry, simple report generation.
Stuff AI can just churn out.
Right. So his recommendation is to lean into things AI can't easily replicate. Leverage your passion, develop deep specialization, hone your craft.
Deep craft. I like that phrase. Focus on unique human skills.
That seems to be the core message. In a world where the routine gets automated, unique expertise and creativity become much more valuable.
It's about becoming harder to replace, essentially.
Yeah.
Find what makes your contribution unique. But AI isn't just taking jobs, right? We hear about new jobs being created, too. How does that balance out?
That's absolutely the other side of the coin. It's a crucial point. Leaders like Jensen Huang at NVIDIA or Mark Zuckerberg at Meta, they talk about this dual effect constantly.
Disruption, but also creation.
Exactly. While AI definitely displaces some roles, it simultaneously creates new demand elsewhere, particularly for high-skill roles directly related to AI engineers, developers, people who manage and innovate with these systems.
So it's not just jobs disappearing, it's the type of jobs changing. A redefinition of work.
That's a good way to put it. It's a fundamental shift in what skills are valued and needed.
Okay, so let's try to pull this all together for you as we wrap up this deep dive. We started with those striking numbers. Over 10,000 U.S. jobs gone by early August 2025, directly linked to AI.
With big players like Microsoft leading that charge, cutting thousands due to their AI transformation and huge infrastructure spending, like that $80 billion this year.
And we saw who's feeling the immediate pressure of those entry-level white-collar roles: paralegals, call center staff, translators, admin positions.
Yeah, the kinds of jobs highlighted by outlets like the New York Post as being particularly vulnerable right now.
Then we looked at the future projections.
Right, the stark warning from Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei. Potential for 50% of those entry-level jobs gone. Maybe 20% U.S. unemployment within 5 years. A serious scenario.
A view echoed by some analysts predicting double-digit unemployment, maybe 10–20% nationally.
But then we contrasted that with the Goldman Sachs view. More contained impact, maybe 6–7% displacement for young tech workers over a decade.
Capping the overall unemployment rise at maybe half a percentage point.
Which really highlights the debate, the uncertainty about the true scale and speed of AI's impact. It's not set in stone.
But importantly, it's not all doom and gloom. We heard that practical advice from Paul Graham.
Get away from the scut work, the stuff AI can do easily.
And instead, cultivate passion, deep specialization, that unique craft. Make yourself less replaceable.
And remember what leaders like Jensen Huang and Mark Zuckerberg emphasize. AI disrupts, yes, but it also creates demand.
Especially for those high-skill AI roles, people who can build and leverage this tech.
So ultimately what this deep dive shows us is that just knowing about this isn't enough. It's about understanding and applying that knowledge. The shift isn't just about jobs being lost. It's about the evolution of work. which human skills become truly essential.
Which raises that final question for you, the listener, to really think about.
In a world where AI handles the routine, the repetitive, what unique human skills, what deep craft, what passions will you focus on? How will you stand out? How will you make an irreplaceable contribution? How will you adapt to create new demand for your skills?
Because the future isn't fixed, but wow, is it moving fast? As we've unpacked today, things like adaptability, continuous learning, they're not just buzzwords anymore.
They're really becoming the essential toolkit for navigating this AI era, for thriving in it.
So keep digging, keep learning, keep adapting, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.